I think that people have a misconception of fighting, of what a fighter is and what an athlete is. And some people, and even when I get like interviews, they're like, "What's it
They
like?"
conflate they conflate the
It's
two.
very conflicted, and I say to them, I'm like, you really don't know the true definition of an athlete if you're trying to compare that to just a regular fighter. It's very different, and even with Angelica Delgado, somebody that you know very well, she's been to the Olympics, and you can tell a difference in the way she approaches training as opposed to, and I love my MMA guys, but opposed to a regional scene MMA fighter, right? It's totally different. The way they go about their training, the way they go about, the recovery, every little detail, no talking back, never late, always on time. There's just levels to it. And then on top of that, from an athletic standpoint, I feel like you have to have the biomotor abilities, you have to have the ability to watch something and get it, like learn it from the jump, as opposed to having to say it over and over and over again. And don't get me wrong, some of the best fighters aren't athletes, and some of the best athletes suck
Are
at being
great,
exactly, yeah. So
but I try to tell people. I said the athletic pool of MMA is paltry in comparison to the athletic pool of Olympic athletes.
yeah,
That What I'm saying, I tell people, say, well, I'm trying to tell you, the top people on both sides are probably somewhat similar.
mm-hmm,
But when we move down to the second tier,
mm-hmm,
like you go from the world champion in judo to the silver medalist, it's a huge drop. It's a small drop. But if you go from the champion in UFC
mm-hmm,
to the first level contender, there's a huge delta here
yeah,
because the athletic pool is paltry. And I tell people all the time, when people move from one sport and then come into your sport and dominate, they say, well, he lost. I said, yeah, but look, that person can't go into freestyle wrestling or Greco
yeah,
or and even come out and make it out. They won't get out of the
yeah.
they won't get out of the
Yeah,
trials.
we're talking like they say that about like Jordan Burroughs if he goes into MMA and how he would do. It doesn't matter. He's the best wrestler in the world. Like at the end of the day, that's he's set his legacy. Like why would he even go to MMA at this point?
And everybody compares. Right, everybody compares it, and they use MMA like it's the rubric. MMA is not the rubric. Let
Mm-hmm.
me tell you something, man. I I, I could walk inside of a gym, okay, a couple of years ago. I couldn't do it now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can make it through a pro training session, an MMA pro training session.
Mm-hmm.
I I couldn't go to practice. I can't make it through a whole practice at Kitsusai, okay, the place where Angelica practices. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
ever been there before.
yeah. It's crazy. Yeah,
If you ever just strap on a gi, like you're good enough to get out on the mat,
yeah, yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That
I know.
practice, they say going. Jimmy Pedro's practice up in Massachusetts is 1 hour. I could not make it through that practice right now. You could not pay me any amount of money to get on the mat in France and do a training camp.
Oh yeah,
None.
they're
I would be in the
they're
hospital.
yeah. It's crazy out there. Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
But it's just different athletically.